Hi, I'm Karen Roby with Daphne Leprince-Ringuet for ZDNet, and we're talking today about blockchain, and Daphne specifically why people are saying, the blockchain revolution still at least a decade away. And we've been hearing about blockchain, of course, the hype for quite some time now, but the reality, it seems, is that it's still a good bit away.
Yeah, sure. So as you said, blockchain is not a new technology. It's a word that we've heard flying around for a few years now, and it's been applied to various industries ranging from finance to fine art through shipping and so on. And yet very little people actually understand the technology behind blockchain simply because it's very complex technology. And the latest report published by Gartner actually identifies that as problematic because to implement blockchain today in a business, you actually need to understand the complexities of the technology. So in a sense, it's as if when you open your browser to Google something or to do a search, you were asked to understand the standards and the protocol of the internet. You were asked to understand coding, development, and all of these things. That's not realistic. It's not what users expect when they just do a search. And there's a good reason for that, is that the internet is a technology that's mature enough that the back end is invisible to the user. So you can just go onto the internet, research, and that's it, you're done. With blockchain, you have to understand these things. Because the technology is simply too immature for its back end to be invisible to the user. And yet businesses are trying to implement it. And so Gartner identifies this as problematic for two reasons. The first reason is that usually businesses won't have the internal tools and skills to understand blockchain. And so to implement it, they will delegate this to vendors who will take care of the coding, the development, the management of the consortium of blockchain. And that's a huge loss of independence. It means that they depend on those vendors. The second reason it's problematic is that blockchain is still changing, it's still young. And so the way that it's implemented today might change, its standards might change, its protocols might change. And so all that work that's being done now, it might mean that those businesses that are implementing blockchain might be ahead of other businesses now, but they will have to redo all that work as soon as those protocols and standards change. And actually, a recent report by Gartner showed that 90% of blockchain implementations in businesses will have to be redone before 2021. So that's how young and immature the technology is. So for all those reasons, Gartner recently assessed that blockchain is currently stuck in a phase that's called the trough of disillusionment. So that means that the technology has been hyped, there's been a lot of expectation placed on the technology, and it's actually failed to deliver, so interest is waning. And it will be, according to Gartner, at least 5 to 10 years before it actually starts delivering on its promises. So before it's made scalable enough for it to be mainstream and for it to be able to be implemented within businesses and to deliver and to allow for more efficiency.
So, and just to restate that again, Daphne, what they're saying is 5 to 10 years at least from really delivering on promises. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. So the particular analyst that was looking after the research that was published said that that wouldn't happen before 2028, simply because all those standards and all those protocols are not set yet. And that's why they're not scalable, and that's why they're not mainstream. Now, it's not all doom and gloom. There are various ways of making the technology scalable so that its back end becomes invisible. And then when that starts being done, it will be able to go through the next phase, which is called the slope of enlightenment, which is when the technology starts delivering before it reaches the plateau of productivity, which is when it's actually mainstream and adopted widely in society.
All right, very interesting. Well, Daphne, we certainly appreciate your work on this. And if you want to learn more about blockchain in general and read Daphne's article, make sure you check out ZDNet.